Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. I am Professor Utkarsh Nigam from the Department of Civil Engineering, LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. Hope you all are doing well and fine at your class. And today we shall discuss about the subject of GTU, which is being offered as an elective in the Pddc semester 5th. The name of the subject is Soft Computing Techniques. In the today's video, we will discuss about the importance of soft computing techniques, how it is being used in the recent because there are larger data sets in the civil engineering projects as well, in the civil engineering domains, and the various sectors of civil engineering such as structural, water resources, transportation, environmental, in other sectors of civil engineering as well, there are larger data management. So by using the hard computational method, it is not easy to solve it out. So for getting rid of those problems, the larger data set management, we can use computing methods, the soft computing methods. Soft computing methods are actually those methods which will provide us ease to solve different problems, with many larger data set based problems, complex problems, the uncertain problems. It can be solved quickly by using the soft computing techniques. So in this module we will discuss about the computing techniques, the computational procedure, and the different qualities of the soft computing techniques being used. The different soft computing techniques are present, in which genetic algorithms, artificial neural networks, and fuzzy logic. These are the three which is in the syllabus of GTU in this soft computing techniques. So we will discuss in subsequent lectures, but today we will discuss about the computing method. So we will proceed our lecture with the PowerPoint.
Now let's continue with the presentation. This is the module number 1, Introduction to Soft Computing Techniques, offered by GTU in the Pddc 5th semester Civil Engineering. The name of the subject is Soft Computing Techniques. So in this subject you will get to know about different computing techniques which are being used most commonly nowadays. So this is actually the content outline that in this module number 1 we will discuss about soft computing introduction, the concept of the computing system, what are the different types of computing systems are being employed, what is the difference between soft computing and the hard computing, what are the different characteristics of the soft computing techniques, what are those properties, what are those qualities or attributes, that's why soft computing is being used, and some applications of soft computing techniques, and even in the field of civil engineering as well. This is actually the syllabus. We will have a look on the introduction of this syllabus, that is soft computing techniques, offered in Pddc semester 5. So these are the different rationales that you will be able to apply the computing techniques for solving problems in civil engineering. You will be able to learn fuzzy logic, you will be able to learn genetic algorithm, you will be able to know about artificial neural network and different techniques. So in this subject you are having 4 hours of the teaching, that is 2 + 2, and the subject is having total 3 credits. The theory marks of the university examination will be of 70 marks and 30 marks is of the mid-semester examination. Except that practicals are also being there, that is 30 and 20, that is being divided. So the total marks contribution of this subject with 3 credits will be 150 marks. These are the content, that is the first module is actually introduction to the soft computing techniques, the soft computing, what is the difference between soft and hard computing, why soft computing is being used tremendously in the field of civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and other engineering applications as well. Then second module is totally dominated for fuzzy logic itself, dedicated to the fuzzy logic itself, in which we will try to learn the computing technique that is known as the fuzzy logic, how it is being used for. In the third module we are having genetic algorithms with us. We will try to learn about the genetics and how these help in solving the engineering applications in the field of civil engineering. The fourth module is artificial neural network. In this, we will try to differentiate between the biological neural network, that is human being, and the artificial neural network, that is the robots or the systems or the computational mechanisms which are being developed in the system of input and output, which gives the results as per perfections and as per the precisions recorded in the system. Then we are having the module number 5, that is hybrid systems or mixed systems. For example, hybrid is actually the mixed system, means 2 or 3 computing techniques are combined and then one technique is being used, so that is known as the hybrid technique. So in which fuzzy or ANN can be combined, or genetic algorithm and fuzzy logic can be combined. So 2 or 3 soft computing techniques will be merged, will be compiled, and then it is being used. So that is the hybrid system, means we are going to mix 2 computing techniques, so those will be referred to as the hybrid system. So these are the distribution of the theory marks which are being given. Here you can see the understanding level and the analysis level, application level. So understanding level and application level are itself having 70% marks. 70% weightage is given only to the understanding and to the application part only. These are the books which are being told to refer by the GTU, Gujarat Technological University. In the syllabus, different books have been given. You can refer different books related to for particularly module number 1, for understanding the computing techniques, the difference between soft computing and hard computing. You have to keep in touch with the presentation only. These are the course outcomes. Course outcomes are actually those objectives or outcomes, means after studying this subject, students will be able to, what we can say is these are the 5 objectives. The first is to able to understand the soft computing techniques, to comprehend soft computing techniques. The second is to understand and demonstrate the artificial neural network and its applications. Third is to analyze genetic algorithm. Fourth is to able to develop the fuzzy logic sets and system. The fifth is to design the hybrid system, means mixed system. So these are with these 5 objectives, with these 5 course outcomes, we are starting this what we can say is the today's module. So these are the term work and experiments. So only 4 experiments are there. So problems based on genetic algorithms, problem based on fuzzy logic, problems based on ANN, and problem based on our hybrid systems will be given. So 4 problems, the problems are being categorized in the 4 parts, and in the first module we will study about the introduction. So this is actually the content. First we will discuss about what do we understand by soft computing technique, then what is the concept of computing system, why hard computings and soft computings are being used, employed for working, what is the difference between soft and hard computing, what are the different attributes and characteristics of the computing techniques, and then we will discuss about the applications of soft computing techniques as well. So now the introduction to the soft computing technique, we are starting with this module. So first of all, let us understand about the soft computing. Computing using software or techno-computational techniques such as softwares or computers are being used. So if we consider a problem, if we consider a particular system, then we know that there are some inputs or some problems, and we need some output or some solutions must be there. And the solution must be quite precise or close or accurate to the systems. So the soft computing gives some easiness in finding and analyzing the solutions to the problems. Sometimes there are number of systems, and sometimes there are a number of what we can say problems in a particular complex system. So soft computing techniques gives ease in understanding that particular system. In this particular presentation which I have prepared, I have used various photographs. Few photographs have been developed by me. For example, this is developed by me for understanding. Few photographs and images, the courtesy is actually the internet from where I have used it. So I have given the courtesy to the internet in this video which I have prepared. So in the soft computing techniques, we need to understand about the input and output. So the problems are there, the complex systems are there, the data managements are there, and we need to understand those things. So soft computing will give the solution of those problems, of those inputs for which you need to find the output. So as I have told earlier, that computing using software or techno-computational techniques in which you are using some new methods, some new techniques is there. Actually, the soft computing is an approach where we compute solutions to the existing complex problems, where output results are imprecise or fuzzy in nature. One of the most features of soft computing is it should be adaptive, means it should be such that so that in every system the solutions or outputs can be get with utmost ease, and it will be able to understand the situation and the system as well. Any change in the environment does not affect the present process. So output results were being imprecise, but it gives solution to the existing complex problems. So computation is actually a process of converting the input of one form to some other desired output from form using certain control actions. According to the concept of computation, input is actually called an antecedent and the output is called the consequent. The mapping function converts the input of one form to another form of the desired output using certain control actions. So basically there are two types of computing techniques which are being used. One is the hard computing and second is the soft computing. Hard computing is actually the process in which we program the computer to solve certain problems using mathematical algorithms. Means it is not that hard computing is always used by paper and pen and solving the problem with empirical solution. It also uses the computational mechanisms such as computers, but the programs which are being solved are solved by using the mathematical algorithms that already exist, the empirical relations that already exist, and it provides a precise output value. One of the fundamental example, the simplest example is actually numerical problem. It does not require any mathematical modeling, so these are actually the characteristics that soft computing does not require any mathematical modeling for solving a given problem. It gives solution when we solve a problem of one input from time to time, uses some biologically inspired methodologies, and these are adaptive in nature. Basically there are three types of soft computing techniques which are commonly used. There are also other computing techniques available which we will see, but GTU has recommended to learn the soft computing techniques which are artificial neural network, fuzzy logic and genetic algorithm. Now we need to understand why to use the soft computing technique. Soft computing techniques are used for optimization. Optimization means simply we are having number of possible solution of a particular problem, but we will choose that solution which will give us the best output or the optimized output. That is, in very simple term, minimum attempt or inputs to get maximum output, or we will choose the minimum cost and maximum profit relations. So many combinations are actually there which are feasible or non-feasible, which may be possible or not possible, but we will choose that combination, or those combinations will be chosen by the soft computing techniques in which we will get the best maximized output. So we have to give the minimum inputs or minimum attempts, and that will give us the maximum profit. So various optimization techniques are available, and in the soft computing techniques also it is being employed to use in the optimization problems. So these are various optimization techniques: linear, non-linear, quadratic, dynamic, stochastic, soft computing, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms, fuzzy logic, neurofuzzy, and different other techniques as well. So different optimization techniques are being available, and in this particular domain, in the particular subject, we will study about the three soft computing techniques and its use in and applications in the civil engineering. These are actually the soft computing techniques which are being used available. So first we need to understand about the computing, and when the word soft computing is used, we also hear a word or technical term that is known as artificial intelligence. What does it mean? If the intelligence have to be induced into machines, it is called artificial intelligence. And soft computing is part of artificial intelligence. Means intelligence is being induced in a machine, in a mechanism. A person is not solving, but the machine or the mechanism is solving something. So that is known as the artificial intelligence. Then comes computing. So computing means counting, calculating, and hard computing and soft computing are the two types. As discussed earlier, hard computing means experimental work, empirical or mathematical computations are there. Similarly, soft computing is there. Artificial neural network, genetic algorithm, fuzzy logic and neuro-fuzzy systems are there. Now we will try to understand the concept of computing systems. So we have artificial intelligence and computational intelligence. So in the computational intelligence, the fuzzy logic, neural network and evolutionary algorithms are being categorized. So different applications of soft computing may be photos to understand the image recognition, image separation. You have seen the different photos are being checked in the CCTV cameras, and then suddenly one precise photo has been found by the system. So those type of problems can be find out. Image separation can also be done. Larger data sets or experimental results can be solved with very easiness. If else rules can be created for number of options. If available, then you can choose the best option using the soft computing techniques. In short, it provides very easy solutions as compared to hard computing, because in hard computing you have to use a particular system, but in soft computing you can go with other type of system as well. Why to use artificial intelligence in the civil engineering? As per the recent research papers which have been suggested, that the advancement in civil engineering is occurring in only 3 domains presently. Means majority of advancement is occurring in these 3 domains, that is designs, second is equipments or machineries, and third is the softwares and the soft computing. Why these advancements are occurring? Because these advancements are reducing the time efforts, although they are increasing the costs or economy of a particular machine or a particular software. But at the same time, these softwares are what we can say as decreasing the time. So these are optimizing the time. So the advancement in the present situation is occurring only in the designs, equipments and softwares and soft computing. So it will be good to learn about the computing techniques. Then present need for research. So time is reduced, but the economy is increased and the budget is increased. Why artificial intelligence or soft computing is used? Actually, number of answers are available on the internet and the database, but the relatable answers, those answers which you can relate, that if you are a civil engineer or if you are a civil engineering student, then you will be able to correlate it with you. So there are many methods which found to be inefficient for using the larger data management. First we have to do the data management, and then you have to apply a particular technique. But fuzzy logic, artificial neural network, genetic algorithm or soft computing techniques, in short, will reduce those labor type of work for a particular person. Then pattern recognition, input and output, image identification, all those are done. Then optimization for results and larger data sets. You are having number of data sets for which estimation and costing or tendering has to be done. Then you can decide with the optimized. Optimized means minimum efforts you have to put and you have to get a good output, nearly a desirable output. Then soft computing techniques are very time saving and give more efficient results. And the difference between the black box model, that I will give it, what is the difference between black box model and white box model later on. But of course black box model is preferred over the white box model. And mathematical and conventional experiments, whenever the analysis fails, at that time we can use such type of computing techniques. These are the different soft computing techniques: artificial neural network, genetic algorithm, fuzzy logic. These 3 are being used. Then comes the neuro-fuzzy, the combination of those, and the other computing techniques are also there. So as a part and parcel of the syllabus of the GTU, we will compile only 3 soft computing techniques. These are actually 2 techniques. First is the neural network and second is the fuzzy logic. We will try to understand with one example and then we will proceed towards the computing techniques. So a simple neural network. Input layer is there, hidden layer is there and output layer is there. So for example, you will be able to understand with the particular diagram that there are few inputs which we have to provide and we will get some output, and whatever we are doing in the middle, that we are getting as an answer. So the particular fuzzy logic, in the fuzzy logic means something which is dependent on the partial truth. For example, if I will speak on rigid system or crisp system means yes or no. The answer is either yes or no. The answer is either true or false. You have to answer only one, not between that. But there are many things, and in most of the problems, you are there to express what we can say some explanation of that particular thing. Means you cannot directly give yes or no. So those systems are to be called as the flexible system. And everybody like that some flexibility must be there in a particular system. So rigid system or crisp system means yes or no. That is also known as the Boolean logic. But if we are saying that no, it's not that much called. For example, here it is given, is it called? So in Boolean logic, we will say either it is called or it is not called, yes or no, true or false. But in fuzzy logic, we can say anything between 0 to 1. 0, 0.5, 50%, 10%, 30%, 80% or 100%. So that is actually the beauty of fuzzy logic, because it takes care of the complete range of a particular system. Then artificial neural network, it completes simulation of the particular human system to behave and perform as a human system. Genetic algorithm gives the good solution to the optimization problem. If you are having number of data sets, you will directly get a particular solution or particular number of solution which will give the best result. Then comes the fuzzy logic, which is based on the probabilistic logic, which will try to find out that how much percentage will be good for a particular thing. And then comes the hybrid system, means any two of the computing technique can be combined to give a new methods, to the generation of a new method. So that those type of systems are also being there. Now let's discuss about the soft computing versus hard computing. So computation, that you all know that there are 2 type of computing techniques that we have discussed, that is soft and hard computing is there. So these are actually the difference between the hard computing and soft computing. In hard computing, you are having analytical models, mathematical models, those equations are being already there. Whereas in soft computing, it is tolerant to imprecision, uncertainty, partial truth, approximation. For example, if data is missing, then also you can use soft computing, but you cannot use the mathematical equations if data is missing. So that is the beauty of the soft computing. Then hard computing is based on crisp logic, means yes or no, only one answer will be there or no answer will be there. And in soft computing, there may be what we can say as the answer which will be best suited for a particular situation. It may be yes, it may be no, or it may also be between that. Then in hard computing, proper programs or equations, mathematical patterns have to be written, but soft computing evolve its own program, so it's a benefit. It is hard computing is a 2-valued logic, soft computing is a multi-valued logic. Hard computing gives exact input data, strict sequence, and soft computing gives ambiguous data and parallel computations are being done. Means many works at the same time can be done. Hard computing gives you precise answer, which correlate with the answers as per the mathematical equations it could have been. In the soft computing, it gives the approximate answers, but it cannot be neglected in many terms. For example, if you are having larger data set and you are getting a particular thing, then you can go for it. Hard computing is actually known as white box model, whereas soft computing is being known as what we can say is the black box model. Then comes the what we can say is hard computing versus soft computing. One more pattern is there, that in hard computing analytical models are required and it is based on the uncertainty. In hard computing, computation time is more because you have to give the time. In soft computing it is very less, and all the things you have seen here. Then hard computing gives exact output, means very precise output it gives. Soft computing gives approximate output which is very close to the exact output, but it has benefit that in larger data sets, in complex problems, in imprecise problems, in uncertain problems, it can be used with very easiness. So that is actually the example. So simple mathematical equations, empirical relations, these are the examples of hard computing, whereas the examples of soft computing may be neural network, fuzzy logic and genetic algorithms. Then characteristics. What are the properties? What are the characteristics of soft computing is there? So we have already discussed that it does not require any method or modeling. It gives different solutions when we solve a problem. From time to time it uses a particular concept. For example, genetic algorithm is based on the genes of a particular person. As we know that if genes are strong, genes of parents are strong, genes of mother and father are strong, then son will be strong. So it is based on that concept itself. Artificial neural network means a machine will do a work. Biological neural network means we are the humans and we will do a particular work. So it is a difference between artificial neural network and biological neural network. So it is based on biological neural network. Artificial neural network is actually based on biological neural network itself. And fuzzy logic is based on some flexibility aspect. It is many valued probabilistic logic. So if you will see the soft computing technique, these are based on a particular things that are very important. And most important characteristic is these are adaptive in nature. Adaptive means as per situation it handles the situation. And artificial neural network, fuzzy logic and genetic algorithm, these are the three types of soft computing techniques which are being used. These are also the examples which we have discussed. Conventional methods in competency and in efficiency in larger management can be done easily. Pattern and image recognition can be done. Optimization for the larger data sets is being done. Time saving, very much important, because in present days time is very much important. Time is money in present day situation and it reduces the time. The thing which you are trying to solve with white box model or mathematical modeling, or you are using by hard computing, it can be done in very less time by using the soft computing technique. If you are spending 7 days, then in only 1 or 2 days you can work with soft computing techniques. And as I have told, that black box model is preferred over conventional methods for the larger data sets, for complex problems. And mathematical and conventional or experimental analysis fails in validation in some cases, but in soft computing you can use those as well. Artificial neural network, we will try to understand about the artificial neural network, that the components of the units are being input, weight, processing element and output. It is similar to the human neural system. So if you can see the example of the handwritten character, it is being shown below. You can get a particular output. So the soft computing will analyze the system and it will give an appropriate answer to a particular problem. So in such a way it works. Fuzzy logic, it was used by Lofty-Jade in 1965, and fuzzy logic provides a stipulated truth value with the closed interval. Means you are not saying yes or no, but you are trying to find out the values between 0 and 1. It is like that. So this is actually the difference in this slide. You can see that fuzzy set defines a value from 0 to 1. If a person is there and he is saying that yes, he is 35 years old, then you cannot say yes, he is old or he is young, like that. So you will not be try to put him in a particular age. You will try to put him in a group. So fuzzy itself divided in a group. In such a way you can see here 3 categories are there, but the crisp set defines either 0 or 1, means yes or no. So that is the beauty of fuzzy logic, that it takes the whole range between 0 and 1 and it gives answer as per the best values. Then genetic algorithms, it was introduced by Professor John Holland in 1965, and it is based on the evolutionary algorithm. It is based on the genes. For example, in the present generation, the genes are not particularly good or not evaluation based. Then in the next generation, only good result based genes will be carried out, and in the particular next generation, so these 3 to 5 generation tripping will be done and the best results will be selected. These are the functions of genetic algorithms, that if a particular person is there who want to invest in a particular bank, so where he will get the maximum return. So in such a way, by using these techniques, you can take the details of all the banks and you can decide by yourself that after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you will get where you will get the maximum return. And these are the some applications of soft computing techniques. You can see the number of examples in the field of structural engineering, transportation engineering, water resources engineering, environmental engineering, urban planning, traffic. You are having number of examples over being present here. So this is all about the application of computing in the civil engineering. You can read it out. Various models can be prepared. So this is actually the overview about this. These are the review questions, that what is soft computing, now you know. What is the concept of computing system, that you know. Then what is soft computing and hard computing, the differentiate, that you now able to understand. You are able to now describe the characteristics of soft computing and describe the application of soft computing techniques as well. So thank you very much, and keep yourself at home, stay safe. This is the only way to fight with COVID-19 corona. Thank you.